Hey everyone, so this is the day I know we've all been waiting for, the Super B evaluation. We're going to go around the car, peek around underneath, all around, inside, up and down, and take a look at what the car looks like. Give you guys my opinion on where I feel the car is and what's going to happen from here on the build. So let's get after it. Let's take a look. So here we are at the front of the car. I'm just going to kind of walk around and give you a whole overview of what she looks like. I know a lot of people were upset saying that they think I should leave the car the way it is, keep it that ratty theme, but I think as I walk around the car and show you, you might agree that it's probably best that I do restore it. Sorry, that you see on top of here is a spare roof. The guy I bought it from sold to me with it because there is some rot in part of the roof, your factory connection lines where the roof and the body met, so I could use it to splice it in. I'm not sure yet. So this is kind of the hardest, or I should say the worst or fender of them all. So yeah, somebody must have painted this thing with like a roller, like literally rolled this paint on back in the day, and you could see this stuff flying off. So this here is a pretty good dent. That's gonna be fun to pull. I'm not worried about it though. We'll get it. But there's a pretty good amount of rust here into the fender, and you can kind of see though as you look down the side of the car, it is pretty straight. If you kind of trace your eye along, you know, there's no real big dents that I'm seeing. This door, pretty flat. Right here you've got a dent, couple here, but you know, when you're buying a car, there's a lot of things that you can look for. It's not too bad. So these fenders are extremely rare and hard to come by because they actually use these fenders to build the 1970 Plymouth Superbirds. So a lot of these fenders have been taken throughout the years to make Superbird clones and other Super Bs. So to come across a new NOS or even a used fender like this is nearly impossible. And if you find one, you're going to pay for it and pay for it because it's Mopars, and we all know Mopar people are crazy. Unfortunately, I'd become one of them. I'm going to fix it. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, this is the roughest fender by far. As we come underneath, it's really not too bad. The front valence has got a bit of rot down there, but that's okay. The bottom down here, not terrible. It is rotted through, but again, I've dealt with worse than the Coronet. That orange Coronet I built, so we'll be good. This door is pretty solid. A couple little rot spots on the bottom. Again, nothing too bad. Bottom of the rocker panel, all through here, solid, not rotted through. And here you can see part of the front, part of the frame rails. It's a unibody car, so of course it doesn't have a full chassis, but the welded in frame rails built onto these cars, quite solid. Surface rust, but no rot through it. As we come here, you see we've got a good panel alignment here with the door. It's not really big up here and small down there, so you know it's not been impacted. Same with here in the front. We've got good gaps. A little bit of a misalignment right here, but that's probably moved the fender in a little bit. You know, when you open the door, pops right open. Got a little bit of rot here in the top of the rocker, and that's why when I bought the car, he actually included a second rocker which I can use to fab it in, as well as this cowl which I can use up here on the cowl if I need to. May or may not need to. But the floor, a couple spots here, a little bit of rot through there, but it's not terrible. Give you guys a whole look in the interior. I know I'm kind of skipping around, but I'm not sure yet if I'm going to return it to having a bench. Not even sure if it originally came with one or not. Probably did, but might go with buckets. Has the 4-speed there because it is an original 4-speed car, 383 Super B, like a glove. Again, people were kind of upset that I might be redoing this car, but I can tell you it's not original, or if it is, somebody's painted over it, because primer and here, body filler. So it's been touched already. It's not all original. Last guy before me already patching, I guess, a lower quarter panel patch in there. It didn't seem like it's a bad job. But again, a bit of rust here we're gonna have to deal with. Bottom of the quarters, pretty good though. Frame rails underneath, solid. I mean, underneath the whole car is very solid. So as we come here to the back, totally rotted out in here. So I'm gonna have to fabricate all new corner support for the window, pull the glass out. Trunk lid is in great shape, minus this little rot hole right there. This rear panel is actually in excellent shape too. Probably not even going to touch it. I might just leave it original looking like that and just put the Super B emblem back on there. The bumper isn't bad, but unfortunately it's rusting through here, and somebody looks like they maybe stuck a tow chain on it or something and yanked it. So probably going to send that out to get re-chromed, especially because I bought some matching front bumpers that are pretty nice. This rear quarter, probably the nicest piece of patina right here on the car, but again, the rest of it, you look down the side, bit wavy in here. Unfortunately, there's a style line right here that this is on, so that'll be fun to work, but the bottom, pretty solid. You know, as we look underneath, somebody has already welded in a new trunk, which is nice. The other corner of the window, and again, rotted through. I'm gonna have to fabricate new pieces in there. I can actually buy a new one of these deck filler panels. May or may not do that, maybe fabricate my own. This original factory seam where the body meets the roof is a little bit rougher here. So again, that's why I got the spare roof that I bought with it. I could use this section here and patch it in, kind of whatever I choose. You can see here, used to have a vinyl top, and that's probably what aided it, made it rust so much. And here you can actually see there's some original vinyl. I do love the look of a vinyl top, so I might go with it. And I normally hate yellow, but on my uncle's 57 Chevy, it looks awesome, and on this car I think it does too, so I might continue it, bring it back as a yellow with the black, kind of the way it was. And this door here, not terrible. Dent here, again, body lines pretty good. Rocker down here, solid, no real rust through there. The bottom of this quarter is pretty rough, this fender here, so this is gonna need to be patched. Probably gonna cut most of this out, weld in a patch, replace it. As we look under here on this part of under the floor, again, the underneath the car is very straight, very clean, just surface rust, but there's no rot in the frame rails. You can see over there. It's a clean car through and through. Very good candidate for restoration. As we come up here, got the bottom of the front fender, great shape. Fender itself, I don't know what somebody did with all this texture here, but I'm sure it's rust and paint over it. But it's straight though, it's pretty straight. Good alignment here again. Gaps are pretty good. Again, coming around to the front of it, it's in great shape. The bottom of this part of the valence meets up fine, which is good. The new fender turn indicators. And then looking inside here, the typical rot, I don't know if you can see it, but where the battery goes, I'll show you when we pop it open. These are the original 14-inch wheels that came on this car too, which is kind of cool. I'm definitely going to upgrade to something bigger, but it's cool to have them on there. So again, frame rails up here, solid, just surface rust. Pop this door open for you. So again, we've got here our factory VIN inside of this door. It's really nice underneath, surface rust, but solid, no rot at all. This rocker here is in better shape than the other side from the top. So you can see here the floor, minus the, these are your factory drain plug holes. Minus that little spot over there on the other side of that bucket we saw on the floor. The floor is in pretty good shape. Into the trunk, you can see it's pretty clean too. So, by the looks of it, the inside of this door shows a little bit of overspray of yellow, so it could be factory original overspray. Gotta love when you close these doors and you get a nice solid crisp close. So, a little bit of rot here. I scored this trim at Carlisle last year, this piece that I needed. I will need the lower piece down here, which I'll eventually, I'm sure, locate. And the roof is not bad. It's just, in these seams a little bit rough. And here, down here in the front of the cowl, I have to fabricate a new channel in there, but that's okay. This looks like it's all surface rust. Let's go ahead and come around the front of the car. The remaining Super B emblem on there. That's pretty cool. Front windshield I'm going to replace because you can see it's scratched. It's kind of fogging, so I'll replace that. Front bumper, obviously, that one's jacked up. I got a new one. These grill inserts, unfortunately, this one's messed up. These things are very expensive and not easy to come by. I was able to score a pair on eBay. Had to pay a pretty penny for them, but sometimes with these Mopars, there's no other options. The valence is a little bit dented. Gonna have to bang that out and fix it. You've got your factory. I don't know if there was an actual name for this type of scoop, but I always think of it as like the nose on like a skeleton or something. I don't know. It's pretty awesome. It's really nice. Like, this hood is in excellent shape. It's really square. You can see there's actually a dent coming upward from underneath there, but as you go across it, you walk the light across it and you look at it. There's one here too. It's pretty straight though, and it's cool that it's all original and all there. Let's go ahead and pop up the hood and see what it looks like underneath. So get under here, and up she comes. Ta-da! No engine, but that's okay because I've got a plan for it. I would like to stick a 493 stroker, which is a stroked out 440. I'm going to throw back a stick shift in it. Could do a 4-speed. Might do an aftermarket 5 or 6-speed, which I'll see. The battery trays usually just water collected here on this little ledge that was there, and these rot out. Same thing happened on the Charger I did and the Coronet. They make a replacement panel that you can fix right there. All this in here is surface rust. Still got your factory VIN stamp right here, which is really nice, and the same is in the trunk too. Underneath here, surface rust, not bad. It's got no wiring, so I'm gonna need to get a whole wiring harness for it. You're gonna have to get the brake booster, you know, your wiper motor, pretty much everything. Probably pop out the K-member, clean that all up, do new bushings, ball joints, maybe do an upgraded suspension. We shall see. But yeah, that's what it looks like underneath. And see if I can get the trunk popped open for you, show you in there. Pop her open. Ta-da! The old trick there, so you can see, just stick it through. Here's the screwdriver and I'll pop the latch. We'll get new locks for it, obviously new locks all around. And here's the trunk. So underneath, typical rust spots there along the lip, not a problem. We'll fix that. And here, again, typical, fix that. All of this has rotted through and disconnected, and you can see somebody looks like they snotted up a couple of tacks there, but that we got to replace. Probably looks like it's still weak over here on this side too. Yeah, so this has all got to get replaced just from water sitting in here over the years. The top along here is good, which is nice. Here again is that VIN I was showing you guys before up in the front. It's kind of another way to verify against the car that it is true. They'll be stamped there along that front radiator support. Here, the whole bottom is still good, which is nice. Floor was welded in, patched. Did a pretty good job with it, looks good. So yeah, through and through, a solid car. Some people might look at this thing and say, what the heck are you doing? But I guess I've dealt with enough rusty, ratty cars already that I'm confident about it. So, I mean, yeah, between the Charger and Coronet and pretty much everything I've done, I've learned more and more as I go. So, to me, can't wait to get cracking on this thing. I just had my my panel put in here in the garage, but I had to wait on my receptacle for the welder to come in so I can plug it in. So here's the new panel, and I'm gonna hardwire the compressor to it. I'm trying to build up my channel here a little bit more, just show you guys longer videos of what I do. And I hope you guys try and work on your own cars too. There's a lot of really great cars out there that can be saved like this, and you know, it's a shame to see anything going to waste. So we'll get cracking here very shortly on the car, so don't you worry. I'm itching to get to work on it too. But yeah, there's your once over of the Super Bee. Hope you enjoyed the video, and tune in for some more Super Bee and Finelli restoration garage action as we get to work on this thing.